Time to shine today, podcast varsity squad. This is Scott Ferguson, and I have my rock star friend from the left coast, my good friend Amanda Monnier. She's with Multidimensional Health and Wellness. We had such a fun conversation. So many things. She's like my sister from a different Mista, that we kind of like, whether it's health, fitness, diet, drinking water enough during the day. We had just a fun conversation off of topic of the actually coming out of recording. But Amanda is an energy healer, breathwork facilitator, podcast host of the New Earth Visionaries. And you guys have to check it out. It'll be in the show notes, but don't go there now. So she's going to spill some serious knowledge nuggets for you. She's a published author, a fitness junkie, a graduate student, so she's a smarty pants, certified yoga teacher. And Amanda's here to help people release inner struggle, lack of confidence, low self-esteem, burnout, and codependency. Amanda helps people release the resistance that is keeping them stuck in painful patterns. And she works with powerful techniques designed to recode the energy field. This is going to be seriously awesome. She teaches people how to tap into their innate superpowers and step into the version of themselves that is going all out in this lifetime. And squad, I want to introduce you to, actually, I'm going to have Amanda, you introduce yourself to the Time to Shine Today podcast varsity squad. But first, what's your favorite color and why?
Ooh, royal blue.
Blue.
Sparkly royal blue.
I was going to say that you better say that because when you rock the stage, you had that blue squad. She's a NPC competitor. She'll get her pro card one day. I can totally see it. She was rocking this awesome blue bikini. So Amanda, let's get to, you do a lot to help people level up. Okay. So let's kind of get to the roots of where you were and then kind of just bring us forward to where we are now.
Yeah. Well, first of all, thank you so much, Scott, for having me on. You've such good vibes, and I'm so pumped already for this. I've already got my leg workout in today.
Wow.
Almost a half gallon of water. We're going there. So I'm so excited. And yeah, it's been a really interesting journey. I actually had a career in law enforcement and sort of had my awakening when I was in law enforcement. I was a couple years in, and I was like, gosh, there's just got to be more to life than this monotonous day-to-day grind. And although I do love the grind, but I just was feeling like this missing piece of the puzzle. I was feeling really depleted. I was noticing these patterns showing up in my life where it was just like so much constant struggle. It was like the same emotional patterns, a lot of it related to relationships and my body. And I was like, just determined to figure this out. So I left my career in law enforcement. I was like, I'm going on this soul searching journey. I sold my home. I left my job. I moved to Southern California. I'd be lying if I said it was all sunshine and rainbows because everywhere you go, there you are. But it was everything, all the density, all the stories, all the old stuff that wasn't me had to be just purged out of my system. And I wouldn't have it any other way because now I have this awareness that allows me to support people in healing their bodies and reconnecting back into the truth of who they are so that they can actually thrive in this lifetime rather than, again, living on these like cyclical looping patterns that keep them stuck in struggle, depletion, emotional, just those looping patterns that we've all probably experienced on some level. So it's been a very humbling experience. And I've had to like go into the depths of hell within myself to really be able to come out on the other side. And to me, this is just a journey of remembering who you are and what you're made of.
That's awesome. And you went through like, that's a huge step from being a cop, a police officer, which I back the blue 1,000,000,000%, and into going out and kind of like almost waking up every day unemployed. But you have to find someone to interview you to help them level up their lives, right? So first, what did your family kind of think about that? And where did you grow the cojones to really make that jump?
Oh man. Yeah. So definitely there were a lot of like skepticism because in this society, right, we're conditioned to think that you have the job, you have the pension, you have the house, then you've made it. I'm doing air quotes, like you've made it, right? But it was like I had made it on paper, but my soul was just, my soul was like, no.
Yeah.
I didn't know what it was. But yeah, because I had worked really hard to get to that place in my life. So where I was just like willing to let it all go. And so, yeah, I had people that were definitely like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I don't know exactly what I'm doing, but I know I'm following my soul.
That's awesome.
And I know I have to do this. And it was like all these old identity structures of who I thought I was and who I was conditioned to believe that I was, and all those like hard shells that kept me safe and things for so many years, they all had to go. So yeah, there were a lot of people that are like, what are you doing? But I didn't care. I really didn't care.
I love it. I love it. And, I make 2 New Year's resolutions every year. And one is make someone smile every day. And 2, unless I've hurt you, disrespected you, or owe you, I give 0, what's about what you think about me.
Yeah.
And that's the way you really get on with it. Was there somebody that while you were a police officer that really kind of tripped that switch that you ran into and be like, that I look at that person and go, that could be me? Or was it just an intuition from the inside that was trying to escape the whole time?
Yeah. So I actually worked with I was a probation officer. So again, this allowed me to go from more of this people pleasing space into stepping a bit more into my power, but there were still some kind of distortions around that. But it was definitely more of like an inner knowing, because I truly believe we all have a unique soul frequency and we're all coded for different things. It's like our fingerprints. There's not the same soul, like it doesn't exist. It's
right.
Like it's you. And so I just knew, and I knew this since I was a little girl, but I just knew that there was something like I wasn't being told about being here on this planet. And I'm like, why is everybody so miserable? Like, why is everybody so upset? Why are we not loving each other? Why are we waking up every day and just like, in these perpetual states of emotional turmoil? I just didn't get it. And I actually got to see again when I worked with the people that I would supervise on my caseload, just like that, I don't even want to say the lowest of the low, but like as far as vibrationally speaking,
sure. Right.
It was people who just like, I knew they didn't want to be there. Right. But it was like the way the system has been set up, it can be very challenging for people to do that. And then, all these different mechanisms, it's like, well, I don't want, like, I know I want to leave my job, but I can't because my mortgage or my kids or,
sure.
All these things we're told.
Right.
And I found that a lot of it is just simply an illusion that's really caused that density within our consciousness to like add to the forgetting of who we are. But like you're at that foundation of it, you are love, power, and pure magic. Like, and so it's about remembering that.
Love it. And I love that you stepped in really to your true self. And with that being said, I mean, are you working with people kind of one-on-one or group settings, or what do you have going on right now?
I'm doing both. So I have really pivoted to working with the physical body. However, it's all tied together. So I always say any dis-ease, and I break it up, dis-ease in the body is just a symptom of something going on deeper. Your body is always trying to get your attention. And so for me, I struggled with adult acne. I had pain all over my body. I was so disconnected from my body. My nervous system was shot. And it was all rooted in a lot of childhood trauma, a lot of ancestral stuff.
Right.
And so where I do one-on-one and group work with the body, but it affects all levels and layers, because oftentimes it's like what we think is causing the dis-ease in the body, instead of, going externally or masking a symptom, we go straight into the seed point. We pull that dang thing
where it's
out.
Deferring from. I love that.
Yes. And it's just all energy. And so when we get to the seed point, what that does is it allows the divine intelligence of the body, the same divine intelligence of the body that created your fingers, toes. You didn't have to tell it what to do. It allows that intelligence to heal. And so that's where, people have labeled it miracles. It's not, it is, I guess, in essence, a miracle. But when we release the dis-ease, which is just low vibe emotion. So it could be anything from shame to different identity structures, like I'm not good enough, my light's too bright, I'm unworthy of love, whatever these stories, they're compacted in your energy system, causing the physical body symptoms. So I love working with the physical body on that essence. So
that's beautiful. And if you don't mind sharing, like if you're working one-on-one with somebody, is there any secret sauce that you use to maybe, if you don't mind sharing, to help them kind of locate that blind spot or really uncover their zone of genius?
Yeah. So The way that I sense things is I feel them in my body. And I always ask my clients, does this resonate? I don't tell people like this
You
is
ask
the
permission. Love it.
Yes, everything is client led because I feel like it's important. And even when I'm speaking here, it's like take what resonates and leave the rest, because we're all at a different space and we're all in a different place of evolvement of our soul's path. And so what might come through me, it might 100% resonate, 10% might resonate, and then it's fine, right? We're all on our own journey. So my biggest intention is to help others remember who they are. And I always say,
Love
like,
it.
when my clients don't need me anymore, like, job done, because
Right.
I feel that it's
Thank you.
important for us to
Love
step
it.
into our own power and our own love. And all that comes back to inner union because of all the separation that has been infused on everything in this planet.
Love it. And we all know what we want. We just don't know how to talk ourselves into it because there's so many voices that are out there. And with that is, maybe you're still working one-on-one with a client, or maybe you're in discovery period. Amanda, is there any good question that you wish they would ask you but never do?
Yeah, you mean as far as like what is coming through in their, like, what they're sensing as far as healing, because and what's coming up in their body?
Like, okay, well, the first time, like, I went and got, like, say, acupuncture, or I had sound healing done. I mean, there's like a skepticism that was kind of there before I really kind of bought into it. Is there like anything that, like, you're starting to work with people, you're like, man, I wish they would ask me this?
Yeah, I would say the thing that comes up most commonly is when we're in more of like that intuitive container in the energy healing space.
Right.
People will start getting like information downloads and they'll sense things and they'll be like, that's probably crazy. I don't want to sound crazy. And I'm like, no, say it, because half the time when it's coming through and you're like, I don't even know what this is. I'm seeing like an alligator. I don't know. Sometimes there's like a deeper meaning to it. Yeah. So I feel that it's like the themes of just reminding my clients that everybody's inner magic and inner medicine comes through in a different way. And so just to trust that. Some people see more visions. Some people will hear things. Some people will feel things deeply in their body. And it goes back to, we're all coded and templated for different ways of expression. Some of us are templated for different type of leadership roles. Some of us are templated to be the guide. Some of us are templated to be on that grind and be doing things we love. And so I feel that, the most often thing that comes up, as far as maybe it's not them asking me, but just like them trusting that stuff that might seem a little wonky, right? A little out there, a little woo-woo, but like, I'm like all the time. It's always something that is like, it is a significant thing. And maybe the metaphor or the unconscious aspect is bringing that up for a reason, and then we put together like the little puzzle pieces of it, and it's like, oh my gosh, this is like the seed point of this childhood trauma, and we can release it.
And then dig in, you get the root, man. That's beautiful. So have you seen the movie Back to the Future?
It's been many years.
Sure. All right. It'll be almost 40 years old. So let's get in that DeLorean with Marty McFly. Let's go back to the double deuce, the 22-year-old Amanda. What kind of knowledge nuggets might you drop on her? Not so much to change your journey, because there's a lot of learning, a lot of gathering of information and transformation in there, but maybe to help her shorten her learning curve, level up, or blast through maybe just a little bit quicker.
Oh yeah. I would say it's been within the last year that it's like all really dropping through. And I would say, going back to me at 22, the healing process actually doesn't have to be so arduous, and any part of the healing process that's putting you further into collapse or emotional turmoil or trauma or taking you out of your power is a no. Because the first, I would say 8 years, I've been on this path for probably 10 plus years. And it's been within the last year that I have learned the tools on the deepest of levels to expedite this process exponentially. So the main thing that I have noticed is we often, and I don't know how many people can see on video, but I'm doing hand movement. So like externally, we go externally for all these solutions. And whether that be getting advice from others, which all of these are beautiful things, like they played a part in my journey. But the most pivotal thing was literally going straight in and up, right? So connecting, all of my energy work comes from source, and whatever word that, resonates with you listening, God, source, universe, the divine, mother, father, God, we all have a different, we human love, we love labels.
Sure.
But it goes straight up, and we start to re-template the consciousness back to its original blueprint.
Love it.
Rather than having to piecemeal it by like clearing little emotions here and there.
Right.
We go straight in, and it has literally created a space to where like what would have taken maybe 4 or 5 years takes like 4 sessions or less.
Right.
And it's
shorten
just,
that learning curve by a lot.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And that's like my main thing is I'm like, I don't want people to have to go through unless it's like their soul's path and they want to. I don't want them to have to go through. Collapse is not the vibe. If you are doing this journey and this work, you don't have to be going into collapse. And what I mean by that is when you're in these like low vibe emotional states, and where you feel like you can't create, you're looping on depression, you're looping on relationships. Looping is a whole different ball game. And it's been something that has become sort of common, that I've noticed with my clients. And just I went through that up until the last like couple of years.
Love it. I would love that you really do the deep dive and you unpack and you get to the root of stuff. And so then how does Amanda want her dash remember that little line in between your incarnation date and your expiration date? Hopefully it's way down the line, but your life date and death date, how does Amanda want her dash remember?
That whenever I walked into a room, people just felt love coming from me.
Love it.
Like,
love it. That's enough said, kind of,
Yeah.
It's awesome. And it's like, you're not expecting anything in return, but you're open to the reciprocation and the feelings in the victory in that. That's beautiful. So what do you think people misunderstand the most about you?
Interesting. That's it. I love that question. I actually feel like it's almost a way that I have, it's like twofold, because what's coming up when you ask that question, it's like almost like my even own misunderstanding of myself, because I was really, I had a very low self-esteem. And I actually think that the way others saw me is not how I saw myself. So it's been like bringing the two into balance so that I can just really just be everything I am and really have that. Again, I just always go back to, it's like a combination of love and power both. And when we're connected into that pure love energy, it's not like we're giving from a place of depletion. It's just coming through us, and then it sends ripple effects out to the planet, and it's healing. That's literally the healing energy that comes through me. Yes, we identify specific things, but it's pure love. And pure love is the highest frequency on this planet.
It is 100%.
And that's what heals the planet.
Right. I love it. And it's like with me, I'm very harmonic. I'm not like balance to me is 0. Like harmonic for me is kind of like you have 8 pillars in life with like, your God or spiritual, your personal growth, family, community, your work and whatnot. And I liken it with my clients to a jazz band. Like, okay, so the drums are, your work, the guitar is your family, your money is the horns. And if one of them's out of tune, right, it might not make the greatest noise, but it's still yours. And all you have to do is just tune that up, and then you live harmonically. I love that. I love that we run on that frequency, you and I both. So then what is Amanda's definition of a life well lived?
Ooh, I feel that comes back to center. Like, did you unleash everything inside of you? Did you, because it is that's again why most people get the average of everything they've ever got. You get the average of everything you ever got, unless you push up against those edges.
Thank you.
And never, like, I've always thought about, for example, competing at a bikini bodybuilding show, but there's a difference between thinking about it and choosing it. And then
and taking
on
action
that path, like the emotional and mental, the last 2 weeks, like peak week, it was actually the week before peak week for me. That was the most difficult, because I was like, am I too skinny? It brought up all of these distortions, and it allowed me the opportunity to alchemize them. So one thing I always say to people, it's like, you can choose to see something from a victim lens, or you can choose to see the gift in what it's bringing up inside of you, and you can alchemize that.
That's beautiful. It's like people don't understand, even going that route within getting on, like 99.5% of the people on this earth will not get in front of 1,000 people or more in their underwear and be judged.
Yeah.
And to do that, you've got to dig deep and kind of, push against those edges, like you say, just to, get out of your, like, not get out of a comfort zone, but really stretch the hell out of it. Right.
Yeah.
So, and squad, we're going to take my good friend Amanda here through our leveling up lightning round, just as soon as we get back from thanking our sponsors and affiliates. Time to shine today, podcast varsity squad. We are back, and Amanda, you and I when I make a trip to the left coast, I'm going to have to hook up with you for a kava or a coffee or a java or a tea or whatever.
I'm so down.
And we can talk about these questions probably 15, 20 minutes in each one. But in the leveling up lightning round, you have 5 seconds with no explanations.
Okay.
And they can all be answered that way, I promise you. So you ready to level up?
I'm so excited. Yeah.
All right, Amanda. What is the best leveling up advice you've ever received?
And it's one word?
It's just a phrase in 5 seconds.
Be yourself.
Love it. Share one of your personal habits that contributes to your success.
Nutritional discipline.
Beautiful. So you see me maybe walking into an event or even walking down the street or what, and you're like, man, Fergie looks like he's in his doldrums a little bit. What book, outside of your book, what book might you hand me to level up?
The Power of Now was the first one that came up, so I'm going with
Beautiful.
that.
That's a great book. Great book. What's your most commonly used emoji when you text?
Oh, the crying with laughter guy. He's so cute.
Like that. What's a hidden talent or superpower that you have that no one knows about?
I do a meme sprinkler.
Awesome. That's fantastic. Chess, checkers, or Monopoly?
Checkers. 1,000,000% checkers.
Me too. I'm right there with you.
Oh,
I like to get stuff done, but not think about it too much. Love it. Headline for your life.
Worthy of love.
Beautiful. See, ice cream, go-to ice cream flavor on your cheat days.
Coffee.
Beautiful. There's nicknames growing up.
Oh gosh, you're gonna make me air this out. My dad called me pudding caker.
Pudding caker. Love it. So there's a sandwich called the pudding caker. Build that sandwich for me.
Oh man. Grilled chicken, sourdough bread.
Ooh, there you go.
Smoked cheddar cheese.
We're best friends.
Yeah. Gotta get some veggies on there, some greens.
Yeah, I got to throw the greens on there too.
Yeah.
Love it.
I love hot sauce. I feel like there's some hot sriracha on it for some reason. I don't know.
Good call. Favorite charity and or organization you like to give your time or money to?
Ooh. I spent a lot of time working with the homeless when I was in law enforcement. So
Thank you.
I spent 2 years doing that, and I tried to help as many people as possible.
That's beautiful. Thank you for doing that. Last question, and you can elaborate a little bit on this, but what's the best decade of music? 60s, 70s, 80s, or 90s?
90s hip hop.
90s hip hop. My girl. I
love some hip hop. My workout playlist doesn't make sense. It's like hip hop, Morgan Wallen, like one electronic dance music song. Yeah. I'm like, make it make sense. I don't even know, but it works.
I got to hang with Morgan once, and it was a blast. We had so much fun. It was good times.
His new tracks are fire.
Yeah, they're
so
like
good.
You said, they're dope. They're fire, man. That's
dope.
Without a doubt. Amanda, how can we find you, love?
My website, which is my name, Amanda Monnier, is probably one of the best places aside from Instagram to find me, which is also my name, Amanda Monnier.
Can you spell Monnier for us, please?
Monnier.
Beautiful. And it's AmandaMonnier.com. And Amanda, you have a couple different you have a group, right? I believe it's the Embodied Essence. I kind of wrote it. Again, I didn't type it. Like we talked off camera, I didn't type. Can you tell us a little bit about the groups and maybe even some free giveaway or something you have for the squad today?
Yeah. So my private Facebook group is called the Embodied Essence Member Community, and that's a free group. So I go live in there sometimes, and sometimes I'll do little group healings and
that's awesome.
All kinds of stuff to kind of be in my space. And then I do have a couple of healing and activations for the body that I would love to gift your audience with. So there are 2 in particular. One is stepping into the body of your deepest desires. So that one will help recode any like heavy emotions you're holding in your body. You can listen to it 21 days. Like, let's say there's an area where you're like kind of feel a little shame around your body or anything like that. You can set that intention. And then the other one is releasing addictive patterns in your body. So like, let's say you have addictive patterns around food, or maybe there's an emotional addiction. It can be, you can set the intention for any of that. So I will create a code for those to be gifts for your audience. We'll just say the code's level up. And
there you go. Love it.
that in there.
Thank you for
And
doing
those
that.
will be found on my shop in my website.
Beautiful. And that'll be in the show notes, squad. I'm really stoked that myself to even dig into the healing addictive patterns as well. That's beautiful. So Amanda, before I let you go, can you leave us with one last knowledge nugget we can take with us, internalize, and take action on?
Oh, yeah. So the one thing that I always like to remind people is that your desires that are in your soul and your heart, they're not there by chance. So whether you need to kind of get clear on those, maybe write them down, speak them into an audio note, they're not going to go away. Those deep soul pings and those deep soul desires. So anything where there's like that gap between where you are now to those desires that you know your soul wants to bring to this planet in this time space, the resistance in between that could be an indication of some areas where you can clean up your frequency, your energy. And then also a lot of things that are missed is inspired action. So in kind of like the new agey spiritual communities, you'll see a lot of, oh, be in the flow, la-ti-da.
Yeah.
Like, no, discipline over motivation, make it happen. The universe will respond to action and to your behavior. And the refinement will be a byproduct of taking action. So all you have to do is follow those pings. And it literally, it makes sense when it makes sense. There were so many times I wanted to quit, give up, but I didn't. And I'm like, okay, now I get why I cried 17 buckets in like, 4 months, but don't give up. Your desires are there for a reason, but you have to take action, and you have to, really get clear on what that is, because if you don't know what you want, how is the energy of the universe going to respond to that?
Right.
It's going to be very distorted. So get clear, take some action, go through your process of refinement. And if you feel called to any sort of support, then you can do that as additional help to get you there and accelerate it.
I love that. And squad, we had like a really kick-ass free masterclass with my good friend Amanda, former law enforcement. She kind of had an awakening in her life because she was stuck kind of in a monotonous day-to-day grind, but she did not like it. I mean, she did like it, but she knew that there was something missing, and she found herself in the patterns of struggle. And she reminded us also that everywhere you go, there you are. So whether you leave a job, you're still that person. So she worked to purge her system, to give herself awareness, and she turned that, what she learned about herself, and turned that to support other people to thrive and level up. She dug down deep into the depths of her hell, and she came out even better. And she wants to help you do that as well. I mean, she felt, people are like, oh, you made it on paper. That's fantastic. But her soul was lost. So I guess she took curiosity, she flexed her curiosity muscle. And I absolutely love that, and she reminds us that disease, which is DIS-ease, is in your body. It's trying to get your attention to show you the low vibrations, to take it to the high vibrations. That what I love about her as a coach, or, what she does for people, is that she allows it to be client-led. Okay. She just doesn't force her agenda on people. She picks up on their emotions. She picks up on the little triggers. She listens with her neck. She's leaning in. She's just not listening to what they say. She's listening to other parts of her body. She wants you to understand that healing does not have to be arduous. You can stay within your power, get your asking gear, ask the right people, and then go from the inside and go straight up and out. I can't do it as cool as she did if you're watching on any of our things here, but it was awesome. And, she will be remembered as somebody that people that saw her, they felt loved from her. And then she know that she loved herself. I mean, this girl is planting seeds that she's never going to sit in the shade of. And I absolutely love that. She wants you to unleash everything inside you, push against those edges, right? And lastly, she reminded us that our desires are not there by chance. There's something inside you that's speaking to you. Freaking listen to it, people. There's a gap to desires. If you're stuck in that gap, let me make a warm introduction to my good friend, Amanda. She levels up her health. She levels up her wealth. She's humble. Yes, she's hungry. She's beautiful. She's stunning. She's awesome. She's earned her varsity letter here at Time to Shine today. Thank you so much for coming on, Amanda. I absolutely love your guts.
Oh, thank you so much, Scott. I love you too. I feel like, I don't know, soul recognition here
That's
with
it,
this.
baby.
And I'm just, oh my gosh, I'm so grateful, so honored. And thank you everybody for listening to us. And I'm just, yeah, just so full. I'm just so pumped up for my day now. I'm like extra pumped up.
Awesome.
Can
We'll
do a
talk
little
another
bit.
leg session for you. Awesome. We'll talk soon, love. Mwah.
Oh,
Bye.
thank you.